Hey everyone, welcome back to 996 The Howl. Finally, they pick their pick at number 4, and what a whirlwind of a day. So much rumor, so much speculation. They're going to trade it to the Islanders so they could pick Hagens. Who are they actually going to do it? Right up until the draft, even on the Utah draft party, they were hinting at a trade, but no, Bill Armstrong and company, the scouting staff, they stick to their guns and they get their guy at number 4. Right when they drafted Caleb Desnoyers, Bill Armstrong said, "We had our eyes on you since we knew we landed number 4." And that could be true, probably is true, because one of their prospects, which I've been saying so much, Gabe Smith, who they recently signed to an entry-level contract, played on the same team as Caleb Desnoyers. And Gabe Smith was also a centerman, a big body, huge centerman who racked up points, along with Desnoyers, who lit up the regular season, 84 points in 56 games played, and in the playoffs, 30 points in 19 playoff games. That is the 4th highest points per game percentage in the Quebec playoff since 2020, behind guys like Crosby and McKinnon. He's a centerman. 72 hours ago, Utah's biggest needs were a scoring winger and beef up their center position, and they've done that with JJ Peterka, getting him in a trade, and now beefing up their center pipeline with Desnoyers. Maybe needs a year, maybe 2 years of development. I think Frondell would have been more closer to the NHL than Desnoyers, but I think Desnoyers and Frondell share a lot of similarities. Two-way players, high compete, they want to win, they bring leadership. Some more things about Desnoyers. He's got a high offensive IQ, a great cerebral mind for the hockey game. He's got really high compete level. All this guy wants to do is win. He's got a great two-way game. He's really well-rounded, and everywhere he's been, he seems like he's won. He's a great playmaker as well. Just some little things he needs to improve. These guys are 18 years old. He's got to improve his shot. A lot of scouts say, before I was researching draft picks back a month ago and leading up to the draft, no scout has really mentioned his shot, but he's more of a playmaking centerman, which is fine because they're going to be paired up with guys like Gunther, maybe JJ Peterka, maybe Iginla, who will put the puck in the net. He's got to beef up. He's 6'2", a big centerman, so Bill Armstrong succeeds in filling out his forward core, being bigger. He checks that box, but he's only 172 pounds. He's really lean, he's tall, he's lanky, he's just a kid. They got to send him some food, some protein in Quebec. And he's got to improve his decision-making a little bit, maybe rushes the play a bit too much. But what's great is that he loves to back check. It's part of his DNA. They don't need to really teach it to him. Like a lot of Buffalo fans have been saying, you got to teach Peterka how to play defense, which is fine because Utah plays defense first. Andre Tourigny loves to promote and prioritize a defense-first style. We see Gunther, we see Cooley perfecting their defense game, and it leads to scoring. It's much different than other coaches in the past. He's also a great skater. And some comparables, if he ever hits that ceiling in the NHL, a Sean Couturier type, Mark Stone type, and dare I say, a Dylan Strome type of player. I know if you're a Coyotes fan transitioning to Utah like me, that name doesn't provide any happiness. But I think Dylan Strome now with the Capitals is playing excellent. He's really coming into that first-line center role. So hopefully it doesn't take as long for Desnoyers. I think they'll develop him well, and it's great that their center pipeline gets beefier. And again, this was all gravy. They weren't supposed to get such a high quality centerman. They were supposed to draft at 14. They won the lottery, and they get a big centerman who's going to be with them for a very long time. And was a spot on Utah, the center position, where people were a little wary, like me. Is Cooley and Hayden going to be your 1 and 2 forever? Now you got Desnoyers there. Now you could go out and maybe grab another centerman, and maybe another scoring winger if you think Schmaltz isn't part of the long-term plans. And you're getting a really good-looking team here. So I'm happy it's a centerman. It's what you do at 4th overall. Bit surprised that Brady Martin went right after at number 5, and even though Martin was tied to Utah a lot, I think Nashville picked him a little bit too high. Hagen's dropping down to 7. I'm surprised the Islanders weren't calling everybody since the 5th, 6th, and 7th pick once Utah didn't pick Higgins. I had a feeling they wouldn't pick Higgins, a little bit too undersized for Utah, but he checks all the boxes, loves to win, high compete. He's already won the Quebec championship with Gabe Smith. The scouts have been scouting Gabe Smith and watching him develop, have also seen Desnoyers develop and play this past year or two. So they're well familiar with Desnoyers. And if you thought that little post-draft talk with him was a bit awkward, there's a delay in the lag. I don't know why they still do that with virtual interviews, but they interviewed his family, they interviewed his teammates. Bill Armstrong said on a podcast, I believe, the Nashcast a couple weeks ago, they interviewed their families of prospects they want to pick. And when Bill Armstrong said they had their eyes on him since they found out they were number 4, Bill Armstrong and the scouting staff did their homework, talked to Gabe Smith, talked to other teammates, talked to his family, and they just love the character of Caleb Desnoyers. So congrats to being the first ever Mammoth pick with the new name, and hopefully he develops well. I'm excited to follow his journey, and we got rounds 2 to 7, but the Mammoth right now are only participating in 2 to 6. We'll see if there's any trades, and excited for tomorrow for all these new prospects to be part of Utah. So that's it for me. Thanks for watching. If you like what you see, spread the word. And as always, thank you for your support.